Kelly hospitalized after prison overdose amid shocking murder plot allegations. By WorldWire News, June 2025. The already controversial saga of embattled R&B singer R. Kelly has taken a harrowing turn. While serving a 30-year sentence for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges, Kelly was rushed to Duke University Hospital on June 13, 2025, following a suspected overdose and medical collapse at FCI Butner, a federal prison in North Carolina. His legal team claims the overdose is part of a larger conspiracy to have him murdered inside the prison walls, allegedly with the involvement of prison officials. Inside the medical emergency, Kelly, who has reportedly been battling anxiety and depression behind bars, was prescribed medication. According to his lawyers, he was placed in solitary confinement on June 10, where he was administered a dosage of his anxiety medication that far exceeded safe levels. On June 12, he began experiencing dizziness and blackouts. By the morning of June 13, he collapsed and was found unresponsive in his cell. Doctors at Duke University Hospital later confirmed the presence of serious blood clots in both his lungs and legs, conditions that could have turned fatal without emergency intervention. Despite this diagnosis, Kelly was allegedly forcibly discharged by armed correctional officers and returned to confinement, against medical advice. Murder for hire plot, what we know. The gravity of the situation intensified when Kelly's legal team, led by attorney Bo Brindley, filed an emergency motion for his release to home confinement. The motion alleges a murder for hire plot inside the federal prison, implicating 3 Bureau of Prisons officials and an inmate linked to the Aryan Brotherhood gang. The whistleblower. According to legal filings, inmate Michael Glenn Stein, reportedly terminally ill, claims he was approached by prison staff and offered incentives, including early release, to assassinate Kelly. Stein, citing moral objections and fear of retribution, allegedly refused the offer and later informed Kelly's attorneys. If substantiated, these claims not only represent a criminal conspiracy within federal custody but could expose systemic corruption in the U.S. penal system. Legal pushback and upcoming court battle. Kelly's legal team has since filed multiple motions seeking home confinement due to life-threatening risk, protective oversight from the court, a possible presidential pardon or sentence commutation. Federal prosecutors, however, have dismissed the allegations as fantastical, claiming that no credible evidence exists and accusing Kelly of using the situation to manipulate the judicial system. The government argues that proper procedures were followed and that his medical and legal concerns are exaggerated. A hearing is scheduled for June 20, at which the court will determine the credibility of the claims and whether Kelly should remain in FCI Butner. Pushpin the larger issues: justice, safety, and oversight. This development brings attention to 3 critical issues. 1. Prisoner safety and human rights. Regardless of the charges against Kelly, the right to safe, dignified incarceration is fundamental. If prison officials were complicit in a murder plot, it signals a disturbing erosion of human rights within the U.S. prison system. 2. Medical negligence. Forcibly removing an inmate from hospital care, despite doctors' warnings, raises serious ethical and legal concerns. It questions whether incarcerated individuals receive adequate and humane medical treatment. 3. Systemic corruption. The implication that federal officers may have colluded to eliminate an inmate reveals potential deep-rooted flaws in prison oversight and accountability mechanisms. R. Kelly's current status. Age: 58. Sentence: 30 years for sex trafficking and racketeering, convicted in 2021. Location: FCI Butner, North Carolina. Health: recovering from blood clots, reportedly still in solitary confinement. Legal action: emergency motion pending, potential court decision June 20. What comes next? The June 20 hearing will likely be a pivotal moment in this case. If the court finds merit in the allegations, R. Kelly could be transferred to home confinement or another facility under protective custody. However, if the motion fails, he may continue to face what his attorneys describe as imminent, state-sanctioned danger. Final thoughts: more than a celebrity crisis. While R. Kelly remains a polarizing figure, admired by fans and condemned by critics, the current issue transcends his past. It highlights troubling patterns in the American penal system that include unsafe prison conditions, alleged abuse of power by officials, lack of transparency in prisoner health and discipline, gaps in mental health and crisis management in custody. No matter where one stands on Kelly's convictions, the justice system must maintain ethical, transparent, and constitutional treatment of all inmates. Stay with WorldWire News for breaking updates as this case develops and the court weighs in on one of the most shocking allegations to emerge from the U.S. prison system in recent years.